We love it. Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Michaela, not Emily. And I'm so glad you're all on here tonight. And I am just going to quickly start us off with like why I'm here, what we're doing tonight, and give you a nice little overview. And if I do this and stop talking, it's because I'm pregnant and got nauseous and just like need a second, but it usually goes away really fast. So, yes, and if you're on here and you are not muted, can you double check the mute? I'll try to watch it, but that would be super helpful just so we don't have background noise while everyone's talking. So I have been with Plexus for about 4 years. I trusted a friend, and that's my biggest takeaway that I want you guys to hear tonight is you're on here for a reason. The friend that invited you here wants you here for a reason because she believes this will be very good for you. I'm so thankful that I trusted the friend who got me started. So, I just started because of that. I didn't have any goals, and turns out it was good for me. And I did start feeling better. I was a little inconsistent at first. I admit I was not the best customer at first, but we got there. And my biggest things were I had UTIs and yeast infections. And when I say I had them, I mean, I had yeast infections every single month, like every single month. And I would go to see my gyno, try to figure it out. And they would basically just blame me and say that I was not being responsible. And I'm sitting here like, I'm in grad school to get my doctorate, and I'm pretty smart usually. Like, I know I'm doing the right thing. So like, why are you blaming me? Why are you not helping me? And then Plexus helped me. I ended up getting on the probiotic and saved the yeast infection that I had 2 weeks ago, but we're blaming that on pregnancy. I have not had yeast infections at all in over 2 years, besides that one. And that was literally 2 weeks ago. And my UTIs, I haven't had one in over 3 years. So those have definitely gone away, even still now. So those are my big things. I also had some crazy mood swings. My husband actually said to me at one point when I was inconsistent, I think we need to get you back on Plexus. And I asked him why. I think he was going to say something stupid, like I didn't look as good. And he said, you're just happier when you're on it. And that's when I really started paying attention to like how good this could be for me. And now I'm here. I'm growing a human. I've got big goals, big dreams, but mostly I enjoy helping other people feel better because it's actually changed my life. And I know life-changing gets thrown around a lot. And like we say that Plexus has changed our lives, but it's because like we actually mean it, not because it's magic, not because it's like this potion that you can take and it's going to change your world completely, but because it's a tool that you get to have that actually helps you with your health. And I can name so many healthcare professionals that are on this call right now that back that up. And we're just here so you can feel better. So I'm going to stop talking because I don't want to take away from the time of the girls that were slated to share tonight. But that's why I'm here, and I'm so glad you're here. And like I said, just listen with an open heart and open mind, because like the reason that you're here is so that the friend can help you change your life. So trust your friend. Okay, Brianna, I'm gonna stop talking so you can start talking.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, so I am Brianna Johnson, and I have been on, so I went and looked this up because I was curious. I couldn't remember the date, but I ordered Plexus for the first time December 21st of 2021. So it was kind of one of those like New Year's resolutions almost. I, like Michaela, was pretty healthy. Like I was going to the gym 4 to 5 times a week, still do. I was watching what I ate. So like I was fairly healthy. But my mom and my sister have been using the products for much longer than I have. And I would hear them talk about, my mom has arthritis, and she would go on vacation and talk about how she should have taken it because she would start to hurt. And my sister has 2 kids now, but she was talking about like her milk supply with her second kid. And that was towards when I first started ordering. So I had heard of these things for a while, but again, felt pretty healthy, didn't really have a reason to start, but kind of just wanted to take that next step going into the new year and wanted to get my gut health in check. I was a personal trainer at one time, so I have some of that background knowledge and kind of knew about it, knew how important it was, but never really, I was buying the prebiotics and the probiotics from like the department store. So I didn't really have a great product that actually helped me. So I started taking them beginning of 2022. And within a couple weeks, I noticed that like digestively, I just felt better. Like I had been struggling a little bit with some like bloating and gas often. And within weeks that pretty much went away. And now obviously it doesn't really happen ever. Sorry if you can hear my dogs. They're chewing a bone right below me. They decided to do that tonight. So anyways, moving on. And then within like between 1.5 and 2 months was when I really noticed that I had so much more energy. I almost every day at work would, after lunchtime around 1 or 2 o'clock, I would like practically fall asleep at my desk. And after, like I said, 1.5, 2 months, I noticed I wasn't doing that anymore. And that's kind of when I like thought to myself, like, okay, these are a gift. So I kept going with it. Energy continued to stay high. I wasn't drinking coffee anymore. And then around 2 or 3 months, I started getting like, just felt more positive and had like a better outlook on life. And I was like a little bit like, I don't know, I have a stressful life. So I was very like surprised that had happened. I'm sure my boyfriend thought the same. And then after it was like 4 months, it was towards the end of the school year. I work in the school system. So I remember messaging Jess and Lacey, who are on this call, and saying like, I am not having cravings anymore. Like, this is crazy. I'm not like digging in my desk at work and like needing a mid-afternoon pick me up. And that was kind of one of those things that really like blew my mind as well. So it was definitely like a slow process, but I was super consistent with the products and I was continuously seeing these small changes happen throughout. And now I've been taking them for about 8 months and everything continues to improve. I still don't drink coffee. I sleep through the night without moving some nights, but maybe flipping over once or twice, and I wake up refreshed and ready to go. I don't hit the snooze or anything like that. I still don't really snack. And when I do, it's like, I'll have one cookie and not the whole row of Oreos. So I know some control now, and that's always been an issue in general. So just some of those things. And then just all around happy because I know I have like the support system, whereas in many things that you buy, like you don't really have people asking you if you love it or what they can help you with. And so that accountability for my goals and just the people I have helping me throughout this process has been totally worth it as well. So kind of my message would be for like the people who are here who maybe feel like they are pretty healthy or don't have any big health goals or health issues. Those things that you're saying are normal, like low energy due to age or a busy life, like those things aren't normal. And so I would just encourage you to give it a try because you'll be surprised how much more fulfilling life can be when you aren't struggling with those things like energy or bloating or those things that we've considered normal. So that's kind of my story. And I'm going to introduce Melanie next.
Okay, so sorry. I have to set my timer or I will take up everybody else's time. I have my timer. Oh, timed out. Okay, there we go. Yes, so I am Melanie and I have been on the products, goodness, for almost 2 years now. But my Plexus story actually starts back in 2017. I had seen my friend Emily posting about this pink drink, and I was one of those who rolled my eyes, but I did order it. And I didn't tell my husband. And when it came in, he made a snarky comment. Love him to pieces, but he was honest and was like, you really think that's going to work? Like it's on the social selling platform. Like there's no way. And so I ghosted Emily, did not respond to her messages, quit the products. But I knew that just from like the few days that I had taken them, that there was something to them. But I didn't have his support and I was embarrassed, to be quite honest. So, so fast forward to 2020, I had actually been on furlough for several months from the hospital system that I worked for. But I had some skin issues going on that I had struggled with. And quite frankly, it's quite embarrassing when you're going into clinics and you're shaking hands and you're
I know.
Melanie, you're muted.
What happens?
Melanie, you're still muted. Sorry. I'm trying to find your name and unmute you. There's so many people on here.
I am so sorry. I don't even know.
No, I did it. I was trying to mute somebody
Oh.
else and they popped up over your name. So I hit the mute
It's
button.
not
and then-
uncommon that people want to mute me, but that's okay.
Oh my goodness. We want to hear your story. You have skin issues. I'm so sorry.
Okay, so I don't even know where I was, but I'll just say that I started for skin issues that I just could not cover up, to be quite honest. And I had tried, gone to the doctors and they were like, try this and it would help, but it would never go away. And so I started the products, goodness, maybe August 2020, knowing that I was back to work. I'd started back to work, but quite frankly, I couldn't afford them. But I still didn't have my husband's support. He basically, I would try to catch the shipments before they came in, number one, knowing that he knows everything that goes on in our house, especially our finances. But if he caught it before me, he'd be like, your drug dealer sent you something. Anyways, so after 2 months, I knew I was onto something. And I said, just give me one more month. Like, I just need one more month. And so in December, he was like, you're at your 3 months. It's either you've got to quit. Like, we can't afford this. And so I said, give me time, I'll make it happen. And that's what I did. I started taking advantage of the referral program. I started sharing. But not only did it help with my skin issues, it helped with other things that I had normalized. I'm looking at my little notes here, sorry. So I had brain fog. Like, it is so embarrassing to be in a meeting in front of like executives and physicians, and like you have the words and they're like jumbled up. And when you're put on the spot, and it's just embarrassing. So my brain fog was gone. My cravings were non-existent. It helped with my bloating. It helped with my constipation, all the things. And one thing isolated doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but when you compound it all together, I'm just living in the moment like all the time now. And I think that's probably why I share so passionately, because I was that skeptic that was really not nice to pink drink people. And now that it's done so much for me, like, I literally just want to share with everybody. And if they don't hear me the first time, I just circle back and tell them again, because we do normalize so much, because it is normal, like to have these struggles. But just because it's common doesn't mean it's something that you have to deal with. So I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, so now I'm a lifer. That's it. That's all I got. Did I go over? I don't even know. No, 3 minutes shy. Oh my goodness, I could like talk forever. I think are you next, Kimberly? You are, okay.
I am. Thanks, Melanie. Okay, so I think I'm probably the biggest newbie here because I've been on the product since March of 2022. So 5 months. And I'm really, really excited because I think I've had some pretty amazing wins. My friend Melissa Crow, hi Melissa. I have known Melissa for over 20 years, and I've known a little bit of Melissa's story. And if you haven't heard it, you need to hear it. But I won't go into that. But she started sharing on Facebook about Plexus, I think probably in January or February. And I saw it and wasn't quite ready the first time she contacted me and asked me a question. And because I was doing an elimination diet because I have so many food sensitivities and for all the stuff that I'm going to share with you about and more. But anyway, the following month when I was done with that, she posted again, and I think I had actually seen her at church too, and I was shocked at how good she looked. And so I finally said, okay, I'm in. If it can help her with all of her issues, then it's got to be able to do something for me. So I just believed in the products because of what she had shared. And so that excited me. So I ordered my welcome pack. But here's what I was like before Plexus. I was a mess. Menopause for me. So I'm in my 50s and I started menopause probably a little bit earlier than not normal, but than most people, I would say. I was in my early 40s and I began to have severe anxiety. Sorry, the truck's driving by. Severe anxiety, severe stress, sleep issues, bloating, food sensitivities, just the whole thing. And it all just became this cycle of toxicity, not just in my body, but in my thinking as well. It was not uncommon for me during the first, I would say 5 to 6 years to be in the ER for an anxiety attack at least once a year, at the very least. I would say I was also borderline agoraphobic because I was so petrified of having a panic attack in public that I literally, my husband had to say, no, we're going out. We're going to go out. We're going to go to our friend's house and you're going to be fine. And I always was, but just that fear of being in public while having a panic attack was so overwhelming. And then the food sensitivities would make my heart race. And panic attacks make your heart race. And so all these things jumbled together just put me in this cycle of anxiety. And then that, I believe, contributed to being tired. Of course, I'd been tired though since my kids were little. I mean, who is not sleep deprived from the moment their babies are born, right? From the moment we bring them home, we're sleep deprived. And yeah, I survived on coffee for years. Coffee and sugar and leftovers from what I had fed my kids, and not healthy at all. But I honestly don't think I slept well for over a decade, probably more than that by now. But Tylenol PM was my best friend, you know, Tylenol PM and even a little melatonin on top of that. But the sleep deprivation also contributes to anxiety because then you worry about why am I not sleeping, you know. And I was often up pacing the floors at night, you know, praying, worrying. If I wasn't worried about me, I was worried about one of my kids or something else. And then that contributed to, I believe, the third thing was just being stressed out. I actually found out that I have a genetic marker for stress that my body just does not deal with it. But like any little thing, you guys, dealing with family members needing something that was out of the ordinary, you know, and it came to a head last fall when you start being in the middle of aging kids and aging parents, that gets really, really difficult. And I felt so bad so many times because I would get angry and frustrated when somebody needed me for something. Not gonna cry. But anyway, and then you feel guilty because you feel like, oh, I'm supposed to love my family, but I am so stressed. And I would just get that tightness in my chest whenever I had to go do something for somebody else that needed me that I didn't expect to have to do, and just having 2 completely full plates was really, really overwhelming for me. And then along with that, just being not well in my gut. I don't think I realized how bad off I was. The food sensitivities, of course, menopause, of course, contributes to all of that bloating and just the bigger belly, that rounder middle that we get when we go through menopause. And then I got COVID in November of 2020, and that really did another number on my gut. I was so bloated when I would eat something that I felt 4 or 5 months pregnant. I just felt so uncomfortable. I looked 4 or 5 months pregnant after I would eat, and I could eat like 5 or 6 bites of a meal. And then I was so uncomfortable that I just couldn't eat anymore. But thank goodness that Plexus came along, and oh my goodness, you guys. I mean, I cannot believe how quickly the Lord answered my prayers, because first of all, my energy was great. Even though I wasn't sleeping great right off the bat, that takes time. My energy was improved drastically, and I didn't have to lay down in the afternoon and be a napper, right? Just to be able to get up and make dinner for the family. I could go to the bathroom. I could go like every day, which was not normal for me up until then. The bloat was the first thing to go, which I was so grateful for. I lost 4 inches in my middle, I think in the first month and a half. It is so, it's hard to explain because, yeah, when I get called upon for something that is unexpected, I realized the first time it happened, I thought, that was a little stressful, but I didn't feel pain in my chest. I didn't feel overwhelmed, and I just deal with it. About 2 to 3 months in, I would say I began sleeping. And well, I'd say about 2 months, 2.5 months, I began to really sleep. Like you said, Brianna, just some nights I don't move like a log. And I started dreaming again, which is a good sign that you are sleeping deeply. So super thankful for that. I would say about 96% of the time I sleep really well now. And the anxiety is, I don't even think about it anymore. There were triggers that I had in the past, and they don't trigger me anymore. So I could talk forever because there's so many things that I've experienced in my life that I feel like are so much improved. But that being said, there are still things that I'm waiting on. There's still things that I'm waiting to see if Plexus helps them or not. And what products am I using? Okay, I am using, I do the Triplex, I do Vital Biome, I do X Factor Plus, and then I do Ease and Nerve. So I take a lot, but so that's what I take. Thanks for the question. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Fewer cravings. It's awesome. So I would really, really encourage you. I feel like a new woman, and I would just say, no matter what season of life that you're in, whether you are, young, no babies, young kids, older kids, grandma, grandpa, whatever stage that you are in your life, Plexus can help. This stuff works.
Thanks so much for sharing that, Kim. I never actually heard your story before, so that was really fun. I'm gonna go ahead and mute you, so don't freak out. So I hope you guys can see, that's what I mean by life change. It's not magic, it is science, and it does take time. It's not a quick fix, but all of our lives have been changed. And that's why we share. So I encourage you that if something spoke to you, you related to something, something touched your heart, you are just like actually still just super skeptical, it's fine. Most of us were. We do not get offended by skepticism. We welcome it actually, because that means like you're at least open to a conversation. So have a conversation with the friend that invited you here. Conversations are free. And we want it because we want what's best for you. And yeah, ask them questions. If you have any questions for those of us who talked specifically, we're all open. You can message us or ask your friend to ask us a question. We will try to get back with you as soon as possible. And other than that, I'm gonna get you off here a little bit early and go eat some chicken nuggets because I'm getting hungry. So thank you for being on. I hope you enjoyed this evening, and hopefully we'll see you next time.